Okay, so what's up guys and welcome to another video here on Absurd TCG. So we got some new reveals today. It's reveal or leak day or whatever you call it, and we have the new, probably the most hyped leader we ever got in this card game, and it's the reveal of Emu or Mu. I don't know exactly what the name is of this character, but it should be Emu. I read the manga, but I know it's called like Insama and other things, but Emu in this case. So in this video I'm just going to go through all the cards, give some initial thoughts on what I think of the leader and the deck. Yeah, so let's stop yapping and let's get into it. So we have the leader here, Emu. I'm doing this on One Piece top decks because I couldn't manage to crop it right on Discord, but you probably already seen the pictures. So it's a leader, 4 life, 5000 power, mono black, which is interesting. This probably initially means that they tried this leader with 5 life, but it probably was too broken in playtesting, so you had to nerf it down to 4 life, like they probably most likely did with NL. So directly this gives me high hopes of this leader being good, because initially they needed to nerf it. So per the rules, you may not play 2 cost or greater events in your deck. Also at the beginning of the game, play up to 1 Holy Land Marijua type stage from your deck. And this is actually really interesting because you actually get to start with the new stage that has come out for Emu in this set. I'm not completely sure if you can start with the other Marijua. If you can, it's kind of cool, because then you can decide to build your deck around it and flex it as you want. And also for the future, if they want to do like the Emu leader with a new archetype, for example, they want to do Emu with the God's Knights instead, you might be able to play the other stage, the Marijua, that is called, that decreases the cost of everything with 1 or less, which actually is kind of interesting, that they can go like 2 different ways. So either you play this Goro list, or you can play this more Celestial Dragon God's Knight list. So I think there will be more support for this leader in the future, and this will be like the placeholder for all of the government archetypes. So activate main. Once per turn, you may trash one of your Celestial Dragon type characters from play, or 1 card from your hand, draw 1 card. To me, I really like this effect, because you can trash one from play or hand to draw another card. I'm a big sucker for drawing card in consistency index, and this effect to me looks really good. And this effect kind of makes sense with the Searcher the Celestial Dragons have, that on play you look at top 5, I think, take a Celestial Dragon, then you discard a card, then you can use Emu, trash it, draw another card. So you actually get to cycle 2 of the same card, which actually is really good. So initially now, I think this leader is something I will look forward to play, because it has consistency, it has like kind of a gimmick. So I should probably go over to start with the like one of the like initial cards the deck is built around, before we go over all the engine. So this is the stage, the Empty Throne, which means that you can start with this on the field with Emu. It's a 7 cost event, which actually is really nice, because then you can't be popped by cards like Sky Slasher, which I would love to run again in Teach. And then for the mirror, you can't play it in the deck either, because of Emu restricting you can't play 2 cost or greater events. So what the stage does is, your turn, if it trashes 19 cards or greater, give your leader 1000 power. I think 19 is kind of a funny number. I don't know why it's not like 20. It's kind of like specifically 19. On your turn, your leader has plus 1000 power, which is really nice. Like, you are a 6k leader on your turn, which means that you only need 1 Don to, for example, swing a 7 or 5k leader, or you can swing on the 6k leaders that also are in the format without having to vest a Don. So it's not a super good effect, but it's definitely welcome. And then activate main, you may rest this card and 3 of your Don cards. Play from your hand a black 5 Elder Stars type character that has a cost equal to or less than the total number of Don on your field. I think this effect is really good, which makes it so that the longer the game goes, then you can flood the board more and play this Elder Stars. And initially, I think this deck is kind of comparable to Rage as a deck. I would say that it's probably can see it slightly as like black Reiju. Yeah, this effect is definitely really good, because you're going to be able to flood the board later on with your characters. So let's begin from the first Elder Star here, which I want to talk about, which is Yay Garcia Saturn. I also have to say all of these R's looks crazy, so I will need to max bling this deck because I think these like Goro cards actually are crazy in my opinion by how they look. So we have Yay Garcia Saturn. It's a 4 cost 5000 power special with 1 kill counter, 5 Elder Stars and Celestial Dragon type, so it has the 5 Elder Star. And if you have 7 more cards in your trash, this character cannot be removed by your opponent's effect. Like, this effect is already really good because that means that nothing works into it. It's essentially Kuzan if you have 7 more in your trash, which is like, it will happen really fast. And then on play, look at the 5 cards of your deck, reel up the 1 card with 5 Elder Stars and add it to your hand and place the rest to the bottom of the deck in any order, which is really good because I feel like this leader Emu is in dire need of needing to get searches and getting cards to replace themselves, because you are a 4-key leader and you want to like do most of the early game and plays just to set up for the late game. So I think this is really welcome. So what you can do, for example, if you can play this out, you can search for Elder Star, then use leader effect, sack this off, draw a card, so you essentially went +1, which means that you get more resources to defend for the late game and for the crazy payoff card that I will go through later. And then we have the second 4 cost, which is Saint Topman Workery. This is actually my favorite of all the Elder Stars because I like this boar. It looks really funny, and I think it's based on, I don't know, because I know every Goro is based on like historical characters, so I think this one is based on Gorbachev or something, like an old Russian guy. And this effect is, if you trash is 7 or more card, this character cannot leave play by opponent's effect and gains blocker. So this is like your standard archetype blocker that we will get for Emu, which is really nice to have. And then on KO, draw a card. And this is also really good because you probably want to play this out earlier in the game and you want to use as a blocker, then replace yourself by drawing a card. So I think this card will be really welcome for the deck, and you're also cycling through your deck to try to find your key pieces. So I think this card is really welcome and really good. And then for the next card, I think we can go over Saint Marcus Mars, another 5-key power, 6 cost, has this character instead, and it's the bird, like bird lizard thing from the Gorosei. And if your trash is 7 or more, this character cannot leave play by opponent's effect and gains blocker, which is really good. You get another blocker, so you can set up more defensively to try to get your late game when you are going to play your high-end card. So this effect initially is really good because it's a blocker that can't be removed by from the field by effect, and of course it has blockers. And on play, you may trash 1 card from hand, keep one opponent's characters with an original cost of 5 or less. This effect is also really good because there are a lot of really good 5 drops in the format and below. So being able to just have this one as the option to pop a 5 drop during the setup phase is really good. So you actually get another tool to slow the opponent's aggression so you can get closer to that late game. So Saint Marcus seems like a really good card for this deck. And then if we look above, we have Saint Shepherd Jupiter. So I guess it's a reference to Jupiter, the planet. And it's a 7/5 2-key counter. So we have a 2-key counter Elder Star, which is really nice. And if your trash is 7 or more, this character cannot leave play by opponent's effect. Another, this effect is great, will be good against so many leaders. And during your turn, if your trash is 10 or more cards, give all your 5 Elder type characters base power of 7000. This effect is also really good for this deck in general, because the big card will go later on when you're going to play all your Gorosei. Everyone will be 7k, and next time when you're going to swing with them, you can all swing 7 and start to really close out the game. So I think this card is an out of 4 off. I think you're going to play probably 4 out of every Elder Star, or maybe at least 4 of the 2k and the searchers and on KO. So I think this card is really nice for the deck. And then for the last one here, which is not in the spoiler section here for some reason, we have the last Gorosei here, which is a 6/5. Same effect. If you have 7 cards or more in trash, this can't be removed by card effects, but it also gains rush. And on attack, if you have 10 or more cards in your trash, you can decrease one of your opponent's characters with 2000 power, which also is really good for the deck while you combat your opponent's board trying to get to late game, but it's also a really welcome effect once you are getting to the late game and you're going to play all of the Goro out at once. So now I'm going to go over the Payoff Card, or the big boss of the deck, which is the card 5 Elder Stars, which is really interesting that we get a card of all of them. So it's a 10 cost, 12,000 power, slash and special, of course. Activate main. If your leader is Emu, you may rest one of your Don and trash one card from hand. Trash all of your characters and then play from your trash up to 5 Elder Stars type characters with 5,000 power that also all have different names. So this is essentially the late game card of the deck. It's really comparable to Windsmoke Judge, which plays all of your Reiju bodies from the trash. I think this deck is going to mostly be around setting up for this card and just trying to survive the early stages of the game, get to play this card, and then next turn you can use the effect, tap a Don, play it, and then get our Elder Stars. Or if you have the stage out, of course, you can use 3 of your Don to play this card instead, if you have 10 Don. So I think this deck, as I said, is going to go towards this card, trying to dig through your deck, survive the early game, and then drop this card, get the payoff of 5 bodies, and then from there take it on. With having blockers that essentially can replace themselves and whatnot. So I think that this deck is really interesting, revolving around playing out the Elder Stars and playing with them, and then summoning them all together like they do in the manga. So I'm really excited for this deck, and I think it's going to be kind of similar to how Reiju want to play. That you want to get your late game, play your Judge, and then from there win the game from there. Now I know Reiju, you can also go a little bit more aggressive early game with Porsche and Ichijis and something into some matchups. But I think if you're strictly talking about the Judge game plan, I think it's kind of similar. But we don't only have the Goro cards, we have some more cards also revealed for the deck. And first of all, we have the 5 Elder Stars are here, which is a 1-cost event, 5 Elder Celestial Dragon. Main look at the top 3 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 card with the Celestial Dragon type and add it to your hand. Then place the remaining cards in your trash. It's My Era Begins, it's the Navy event, it's like all of the 1-cost event Black Searchers. It's really good for this deck specifically because you get to fill the grave, you get to find your pieces, putting them down, which helps you towards your late game and also getting all your combo pieces. And then we also have a 1-cost event, never existed, which is really cool that they give Emu this event. So it's a 1-cost 5 Elder Star Celestial Dragon. Main, you may rest one of your Don. If your leader is Emu, KO up to one of your opponents, cost 7 stage cards. This card is actually really funny because in the Emu mirror you're going to be able to pop the opponent stage, which actually make it so that it will be interesting when you grind with your characters, how you want to play them, and you swing and everything. So I think the Emu mirror is actually looking really interesting because you probably are going to use this event to KO the opponent's stage later on into the game. And also counter, if your leader is Emu, give up to one of your opponent, give on your leader or one of your characters 4,000 power for this battle, which is really nice. Having a 1-Don 4k event is always welcome for a deck, especially when you have a flexible tool. Now I don't think this deck will come up that much, otherwise than the mirror. But yeah, I guess you can also pop the stage against Teach, you can pop the stage against Reiju. So I guess this card will be a 4-off because of this effect, and then against some decks that actually use the stage, you can use your the other one to pop a stage. And then we also have the Celestial Dragon that already is revealed, which says look at the 5 cards off the top of your deck, I think, or maybe it was 4. Take a Celestial Dragon and discard a card. And now this effect actually makes sense because you can just use Emu effect, trash it to draw another card. So you essentially get to dig 5 + 1, which is insanely nice for a deck like Emu will be. So my initial thought of this leader is I think actually is going to be good. As I said before, they already nerfed the leader to 4 life, probably because they tested with it and it's probably really good. I think there might even come slight more support cards. They should be, at least. I feel like maybe I'm mistaken with it because I think all of them are rares. So they might take up all the slots, and we got one SR. Yeah, so there might be more support in the future, or maybe even in this set. But initially, I think this deck is going to be really good. I'm going to try to grind it out a lot, because I feel like the mirror looks really interesting, and in general, the archetype looks something new and refreshing. So this was it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed my take on Emu or Mu. We are getting OP13, so we have to wait a while, but now with global release, the sets are releasing sooner, so I think there's only going to be like 2 months between OP12 and 13 for us, so we're actually getting this card in, or like this set in like 2.5 months maybe, which is actually really exciting. Maybe it's 3 months even, I don't know. But yeah, make sure to like, subscribe the video, and have a great weekend. It's next week, I mean, I don't know. I can't keep track of the days. Goodbye.